Hey everyone, this is Gary K. I want to welcome you to a special edition of my Rants and Raves video cast. Hey, an issue that I think no one will deny exists in our industry is we are all aging and we're not bringing enough youth back into the industry. And I think part of it has to do with how hard it is to discover our industry. Our industry is not mainstream technology. It is sort of the pinnacle of technology, and that's the hardest technology to find. The other thing is diversity. We're not great at that. And so I've asked George Chaco and Gary Alba to come on and talk about this because they are part of a group called Next Level Learning. George, first off, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having us, Gary. One of the things I've heard for the longest time in AV, and I've been in this industry for about 25 years now, is, hey, if you don't hear anything, we're doing well. I think it's time to change that thought process, right? And that's what we're here to do. And Gary Alba is here as well from Next Level.
I'm not even sure I've ever interviewed another Gary. So congratulations on that.
Well,
and welcome to the show. I'm guessing that you probably haven't spent a lot of time around other Garys either.
No, there's not a lot of Garys. It was interesting when I joined the service back in 2002 and enlisted in the Army. There was an exact Colonel Gary Alba with the same exact spelling, and
Wow.
it's like, what are the chances of that happening? Because we are a dying breed.
Well, we're here to talk about the second annual AV Talent Summit. It's gonna take place on the 20th of November in person at Pace University from 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. And Gary, tell me about what we're going to learn at this summit and who are you targeting?
Yeah, so what George and also Rich Miller started about a year ago was this idea that we need to have a message out to today's youth, whether it's 10th, 11th, 12th grade, high school students, people maybe starting their community college or undergraduate journey, or maybe somebody that didn't go to college and is kind of looking for a field to find their fit in. And a lot in IT has been concentrated in the keywords you've heard of, like cybersecurity or IT help desk. And we know that audiovisual is taking off, right? Everywhere you go, you see digital signage, you see digital menus at McDonald's and Dunkin', you see stuff at the airport, you see, what Taylor Swift is doing at her concerts. It's just like, it's a booming industry. So the point of Next Level Learning and the IT Talent Summit is to bring in these youth. We're having about 200 high school students and faculty come and have some subject matter experts that have done some of these projects, that have been in the industry, and tell their stories and tell how the next level of these people looking to get into this profession can get into that and get interested in audiovisual, as well as trying to help out with some of the diversity that we need in this industry, as a lot of IT is like a white male industry, that we would like to see more women involved. We would like to see different people of different colors and ethnicities and backgrounds to really push what the next level of students and professionals are going to be within the audiovisual industry.
And George, I'm guessing that part of this, I mean, ultimately the big drive is to bring more youth to the industry, and part of that is to show that our industry is a reflection of them. If you, to Gary's point, if everyone looks like me and Gary, then that's what the future of our industry is going to look like. But if we add color to the industry and we add diversity to the industry, we're going to get an industry that feels more inclusive, and we're going to be more likely to draw youth, right? Because the truth is, Gen Z is probably our most diverse generation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll just throw some statistics out there to add to what Gary said, which is 91% of our industry is male. So I think it's safe to say it's male.
It was that high.
Yeah, and this is a stat that was dropped April this year. So 91% male. The other one is less than 39% is non-white. in our industry. But here's the one that gets me every time. And like you said, Gary, this is all a compilation of all that. Is the average age of an AV professional is 43 years old.
Wow, so I
And
think you're older. Yeah, that's older than even the general tech industry. Yeah.
correct. But here's the kicker. The average age group of folks between 20 and 30 is less than 16% at this point. So
Yeah.
there is more of us leaving the industry than there is coming in.
Is
So
it because our industry is what would you identify as the biggest issue there? Is it, I mean, because for me, when people ask what I do in the industry I came from, it is hard to explain. Now, there, as Gary pointed out, there have been some things like the Taylor Swift concert where you can say, hey, all this technology is there.
Right.
That's what we do. But that's such a small segment of what we do.
Right.
Is it because of that, or is it because of it being a sort of exclusive club type industry, or what would you blame for that?
It's not exclusive. I don't think it's exclusive. I think it's the mentality that I had mentioned when we opened is, hey, if we don't hear anything, we're doing a great job, right? So it's the age-old thing of let's just be quiet, let's just make sure we do our jobs and we go home and everything is good, right? As Avixa says, we're going to be a $408 billion industry, but we're a $408 billion industry that nobody knows about, right?
Right.
When you go to a Taylor Swift contest, not contest, I'm sorry, when you go to a Taylor Swift concert, you don't think about the speakers, you don't think about the lighting, you don't think about the sound, right? But the same is true for if you go to a restaurant, if you go into a classroom, if you go into a conference room, nobody is thinking about what goes behind it. So our goal is to point out to folks, hey, remember that video game you play? Guess what? AV. Remember that restaurant you went to? Guess what? AV everywhere. So we want folks to start thinking in that way. If I could do a quick name drop, when Rich and I started doing this, we got a lot of attaboys saying you guys are doing such a great job because we started an AV minor program here at Pace. And our good friend James King said, this is great, but it's too late because kids in high school have already decided what their career path's going to be, right? By the time they're in 9th grade, 10th grade, they've already decided what their career path is. So that was our goal, was to let the youth know, the younger generation, the 8th, 9th, 10th grade, that, hey, you have another career opportunity. And here's the beauty of it. You could go stand in line in Google or Dell or wherever it is and apply with 200, 300 other candidates, or you could have a similar job in the AV industry and compete with, I don't know, 5, 6, 10 people at most for the same position, similar position. So that's our goal, is to really magnify what this amazing industry is.
Well, to get involved, you can go to the next level, which is spelled a little different, THE next, and then LVL.org. And we're going to put a link into the event that you're having. This particular event is in Pleasantville, New Jersey. New York. But do you have an objective of doing these events all over the country and sort of maybe getting integrators to adopt these events and put these events on in other places, Gary?
So I think the part of tagging on to the last point you brought up and the location here. George is associated with Pace University, and what Pace is doing or trying to do is, the way the evolution of this industry is going, it needs to also fit it in the higher education world. Right? So when we started, like, you went and got a bachelor's of science in information management or information technology, right? And then like cloud computing started and all the things that went with that. So now you can get like a bachelor's in science in cybersecurity. There is no bachelor's of science in audiovisual technology, right?
Yeah.
So Pace University has actually got that as a certified minor now that they're integrating into syllabus and working with things like the Middle States Accreditation, first universities to have a Bachelor of Science in Audiovisual Technology. So you actually go to the school to get an AV degree.
Okay.
So that's kind of our link there with Pace University. And with Next Level, talking with educators in K through 12, in higher ed, and letting them know how this can evolve, and letting them know things about like AVIXA and CTS certifications and other things that can work with that, like a CompTIA A+ or N+ certification, and some basic things. So the hope is eventually to take of pace and talk with people in the tri-state area, then the Northeast, and hopefully nationally. We're taking those baby steps right now,
Yeah.
and the event has grown over the last 2 years, and we'll see where it goes for the future.
One of the things that you're
Yeah.
doing that's really cool is you have a session on esports, which I think will be a great draw. Of course, Full Sail has had an esports program for many years, and you're leveraging that. And I think that esports could be a great way for, especially high schoolers, because they're all playing games. A great way for them to sort of get interested in our industry, because they may not even know that these esports tournaments actually exist. We're going to put up some images right now of one of the venues that you're going to actually be highlighting, which is U.S. Military Academy at West Point, which was done by Extron, working with them on that application, and Full Sail will present that. So I encourage you to sign up for this session. George, Gary, thank you for what you're doing there. It's phenomenal. I think we have, I think you're tapping into something I think is really important in our industry, and we're going to continue to try to push this and bang your drum as well. It's go to thenextlevel.org, which is just LVL, thenextlvl.org, to sign up and get involved, and maybe consider joining them as a member and get on their board. So Gary, thank you very much for joining me today. George, same as always, thank you very much, and thanks for watching this Rants and Raves episode. If you know any kids that should be coming to this, you're in the New York area, tri-state area, and you think your kids should go to this, maybe to help them get interested in the industry, click on the link below, sign up, or reach out to George or Gary, and maybe even consider hosting one of these events in the future at your local campus. Everyone, thanks for joining me. All of our Rants and Raves are at ravepubs.com.
rAVe Radio with